Good evening. We're waiting for people to arrive. I'm slightly early. Slightly. Better to be early than late. Good evening, it's Friday. And we're waiting for people to arrive so I can say hi. Hello. Welcome. Hi, Carol. Let me know that you can hear me. Maybe you could do that too, Paul. Yeah. Let me know that I'm...
You could do that too, Paul.
Oh, that's lovely. Excellent. There's a slight delay. Hi, MJ. Thank you. Hi. Gatita. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Thomas. I'm glad you had a nice birthday. Excellent. Evening, Emma. Welcome. Hi, Trandans. Welcome. It's Friday. We made it through. And look, I've got a haircut. Did anybody notice? Oh. Hi, Anna. Hello, Nancy. Welcome. We made it through the week. We got there eventually. Although, I have to say, it all seemed to happen in a flash this week. Hi, Ronnie. Thank you, MJ. Did it myself this afternoon with the clippers. Zoom. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was time for a cut. It was getting too long and it was very long at the back. And I thought, I've had enough of the mullet for a little while. It grows. Hi, Rebecca. That's the thing about hair. It grows back. Thank you. Yeah, it was time. But a few people have asked me, hi, Nicola. Thank you, Nettie. A few people asked me, why don't you do your haircut and video it? Hi, Sally. And, I thought about it and thought, it's such a faff cutting my hair. It really is. Hi there, Tony. It's such a faff. And it is, I don't know, it's something that I kind of find quite personal. Plus, I'm kind of half naked when I do it, so I don't get whatever clothes I've got on covered in hair that will never wash out for the rest of the history of the garment. Yeah. Hello, Debbie Ann. Thank you, Caroline. So yeah, I've whizzed it off. I might take a little bit more off, but not yet. So yeah, it was getting far too long. And also when your hair's longer, it gets really sort of out of shape quickly, especially in the wind. And I also noticed, I did a little bit of filming when we went for our walk yesterday, which you will have seen on social media, on Facebook and Instagram. And I was filming myself and my hair was flying about everywhere and it just looked really sort of not very good. So yeah. Well, I think it probably is, Tony, because when you're using clippers, the amount of tiny little pieces of hair that seem to get everywhere and stick in your skin and, and then you have to have a bath afterwards and then it takes about half an hour to clean up and you've got to vacuum and adding a camera to that mix. No. So I decided against it. Yeah. So there we are. We've got 44 people here. Say hi if you haven't already. It's another beautiful day in London as well. Absolutely glorious weather that we've had, but still feeling a little bit cold. That's right, MJ. A faff. Total faff. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Trudy. Hola. Hi, Robert. Yeah, I'm doing okay, actually. But like I was saying just before, the week appears to have gone in a flash yet again. I just really don't understand how it moves so quickly. Yes, we are quite busy at the moment. There's a lot going on in terms of social media, especially. Hi, Reva's mum. Hi, Karen. Hi, Donna.
Karen.
Yeah. What about her? It's not that warm here. It is warm in the sun, but in the house it's really not. I mean, it's like this house has got air conditioning. It really is, Paul.
What are you wearing at the moment?
I'm wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Because it's nearly summer.
When's the last time you wore a t-shirt?
Yesterday.
6 months ago.
This morning. I'm trying to usher in the warmth. I'm beckoning to the warmth. Come in, fill my house. Well, it's weird, but since I left my job, I can't really tell what day it is most of the time. It's really weird. It all sort of blends into one. So Friday doesn't mean anything anymore. You know, I don't think I've fully established a routine. I'm just working. I'm just making videos and doing social media and whatever else. It's kind of, I don't know. Yeah, it's just blending into one. And it's not a bad thing because part of me kind of quite enjoys timelessness, that sort of feeling of elastic time and just going with the flow and doing whatever you want whenever you want to do it. But I don't really seem to be choosing to relax that much. It's kind of work. Yeah, Debbie Ann. Yeah, I have to ask Alexa. No, I don't need you. I have to ask what time it is quite a bit. Jeanette, are we up in YouTube money? A little. I am timeless. Yeah, I like to think so. Sorry. Yeah, things are kind of going relatively well. Our subscribers are rising up. Money is sort of up and down, but I try to monitor things just to be aware of how it's doing. And yeah, you know, things are going in the right direction. Let's just say that, you know. But I'm still not in the position that I'm replacing the money that I used to earn. Hi, Cami. Molly, I think that's true. I think fitting into other people's ideas of the regiment of time doesn't suit most people. And, you know, it's like the whole thing around the 24-hour society and especially things like night shifts. Now, I've worked nights a few times. I worked nights when I was at Ticketmaster, and I also worked nights at the BBC. I only did it a few times, but boy, was my body clock completely and utterly, don't swear, messed up for weeks, you know, after doing a run of nights. It's not right for anybody. And I don't think that we necessarily need this 24-hour society, you know. I mean, think back to when we were kids, Paul. It wasn't a 24-hour society. It might have been in a city, but it certainly wasn't where I'm from, in Cheshire. You know, things closed, and if you didn't have what you needed, tough. You know, we don't need to have everything on tap 24 hours a day.
No, well, when I was at St. Peter's, things just shut at 6.
Well, that's right.
That was it.
And everything
one
was...
restaurant.
Yeah, all right, it's my show. Honestly, if you wanted to join in, Paul, you should have put some clothes on. Paul's actually half naked at the moment. Yeah. He bathed, thank goodness, because he needed it. Sorry, let me just, Rebecca. You have a 5-day work week, but you feel better emotionally when you keep busy between 8 and 5 on the weekends too. I feel better for being busy. I feel motivated. I feel as though things are moving when I'm busy, even if it's a day of housework, which is on the cards for tomorrow. Believe me, it needs to be done. I've been doing so many other things, and I'll be talking about those things shortly. Yeah. It's interesting, Rebecca, because I think when you are allowed to be timeless, you discover properly when you function well. And I've noticed recently, I don't know whether it's the change in season, but I've noticed that I'm not so great in the mornings and I start to come alive around 10:30, 11. And also, I find that I can work till later quite happily. So, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, Donna, it is. That's another video entirely. Hi, Carla. Hi, Ricarda. Thanks for joining me this evening. We've got 58 people at the moment. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, there's a couple of things I wanted to mention. I just want to say thank you to Leslie, Elaine, and Leonie for purchasing some photos from my new coffee store. And I'm saying my new coffee store because it's my photos. Oh my God, the sun. The sun is infiltrating, Paul. It's not doing anything about it. It doesn't care if I turn to dust like a vampire. It's hitting that picture over there and it's just getting me. And I don't want to age because everybody will be too shocked. No, that's the wrong one. Don't close them all. I need sunlight. God. It's not that one. You're not very good with these things, Paul. Honestly. That one. That's it. You got it. Well done. Yeah, thank you for purchasing photographs. So we have a store on our coffee page. Now, you don't have to be a coffee member to go to the coffee shop. It's available for anybody. And these photos are going to be ideal for things like wallpapers on your computer, for screensavers, for personal use, for making calendars or cards, but they're not for commercial use. So they're now available. There's several categories: sunrises, sunsets. There's one on Kew Gardens, the Chilterns, flowers and plants. What's the other one? Clouds and skies. Yeah. So be aware of that. No, there isn't, MJ. Although we may do some Richard and Paul photos because we're due to do a new photo shoot because we're going to refresh the social media and the portraits of ourselves. So now I've had the haircut, I can think about doing that. So yeah, there you go. That's a new thing. And I've been working on that for the past couple of days to do the uploads. And they're only £2.50 for a digital download. And once you've downloaded it, it's yours to keep to do whatever you want other than commercial use. Thank you, Caroline. Oh, that sounds interesting, Sarah. Yes, Vanessa, I will obviously release the new portraits when they're done. So we've just got to get Paul washed and cleaned up. Yeah. I don't think there'll be anything on the peekaboo pants, Jeanette. Definitely not. Hi, Lynn. We've got 62 people here. So just to say now that we're going to be finishing around the 40-minute mark today because we have a prior commitment this evening. Yeah. So yeah. Also, the other thing, I wrote some notes so I didn't forget. Also, I did the TikTok experiment that I mentioned the other day. So we are now on TikTok. Now, I was doing it as an experiment. So I uploaded 2 videos, and they were the scarf video and the shirts video, because I just wanted to see whether or not we would get any views without having any followers, without having any biography on there, without having any links to anything else. And yeah, we have had views. So yeah, interesting. So I think we've had about 500 and something on one, and I think 800 and something on the other one. Well, Tony, we've not touched TikTok, but many people have said, oh, you need to do TikTok. And we thought, well, I'll do this experiment. I'll open an account, Richard and Paul, and I'll see what happens. So it's just interesting. I think TikTok has a different kind of algorithm to other platforms. I don't know how it works. I haven't watched anything on TikTok. My go-to is Instagram. But I just thought it would be interesting to do. Yeah, so it's an interesting outcome. Quite a few views, just as many as we get on Instagram, without having any followers whatsoever. Go figure. So we'll see. We'll see whether that progresses at all and whether or not I decide to take it any further. Yeah. Let me just catch up on the comments. The purple sunset, Nicola. Yeah. And it's interesting, you know, when I've been going through all the photos, I remember taking every single one. And some of them I know by date, and I have actually titled them all very simply with the date that it was taken. So they're from quite a few number of years. I've got such a huge collection of photographs, and it's such a shame to have them just sitting on my computer, you know, when they can be shared and I can hopefully make a few pennies. So yeah, there we go. When are we going to visit Vivi? Well, we hopefully will be visiting Vivi in the next couple of weeks. We just need to sort out a date and a time with her that suits her. And we're off. Can't wait. And I've been so excited to see the videos that she's been putting out. I mean, obviously we knew all about it. So hi, Hydran. Thank you, Donna. I really enjoyed doing, well, it wasn't really live. It was filmed, pre-recorded, but it was done in real time. And because a few of you have mentioned that you might like to see a live cookery show, I thought, let me test out 2 cameras and see how it goes. So, yeah. So thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Donna. Yeah, we're really pleased for Vivi. The one thing that it sort of illustrated was how frustrating and complex and tiresome the whole process is of moving house in the UK. It really is ridiculous. It should be a lot simpler than it is, you know, and I'm sure there's quite a number of probably antiquated laws that are attached to that whole process that really need to be scrapped. Frankly, what it has done is completely put me off even thinking about putting this place on the market yet. So Yeah. Thank you very much. Is it Gatita? I hope I've said that right. I apologize if I haven't. Hydron, you're gearing up to start a YouTube channel. Well, good luck. And if I were to give any advice to you, which I don't normally do, but it would be to have a very definite niche because it's a lot easier. Ours is a variety channel, as you know, and it's been such a long journey to get to this point. So,
Video magazine.
it is a video magazine, our channel, as Paul said. Hi, Wildflower Stories. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you. I enjoyed making it, and I found it quite interesting to use the two angles, and it was fairly easy to edit. You basically have to put both of the video streams in synchronized in the editor and then take out the bits where you want the different angles to appear. So yeah. Hi there, Janet. Hello, sunny Derbyshire. How lovely. Yeah, right. That would be one way to put people off, MJ. Well, it is. Hi, Tina. It is really a magazine because I guess we have a number of different interests in life. And I think I've said this before, you know, I've always done several things and tried several things and never really settled on one thing. But I think probably the one thing that I am really enjoying in life is my photography and video making. So, you know, I guess I'm one of those people that has a bad attention span and has to try different things to stay stimulated. I don't know what you call that. I don't know. Whether it's a touch of ADHD, I don't know. But I've always been that way. Well, yeah, and all of it is storytelling, isn't it? You know. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. Paul, will you ever be doing a live show for the viewers?
Maybe.
Maybe. Jeanette, we have thought about that. That's a whole other ball game. It really is. Because, you know, you have to get somebody to manage the property for you. And that involves more money, you know, because I'm certainly not going to be a landlord. I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. And I think that's one thing to think about. When you get to a certain age, I think you become quite clear about what you will do and won't do in life in general, you know. Well, I think renting is a money pit, but I think sometimes renting can be useful if you're trying out an area for a certain length of time. You know, and a lot of people rent for long term. I mean, there's lots of countries, other countries in the world, where people rent in general, you know, much more so than the UK. I mean, the UK's got a thriving rental market, but, you know, the landlords are raking it in, aren't they? But they, with everything going up, they have to, don't they? You know. Well, yeah, I'm Gen X as well. I think you just got to go with what you want to do. And I'm quite comfortable at saying no now in life. Yes, I do want to please my audience here, but if people suggest something and I'm not really into it, I'll say, no, I'm not doing that. you know. You're an 80s kiddo, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Rebecca. I think that's true. And I think it's similar in France as well, you know. Um, there's lots of renting. Yeah, exactly. Well, Tina, it can happen to anybody, can't it? You know, things can go tits up. Yeah. Hello there, Nancy. So it's 25 minutes in. We've got 71 people watching. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Social anxiety is really horrid and quite common as well. I have a touch of social anxiety. Um, I don't like large gatherings when I don't know who the people are. I don't like noisy places. Um, I get nervous in crowds. I get nervous if I don't know how to get out of somewhere easily. Um, I don't like cramped spaces either. I have a touch of claustrophobia, but not too bad. And also occasionally I get a touch of agoraphobia as well. So, you know, yeah, these things we have to deal with a lot of the time, you know, but they go to, they go to make up who we are as people. And, you know, wouldn't it be boring if everybody was the same? Yeah, Caroline, I totally get it. Yeah, I don't like large groups of people at all. I really don't. When work said they were going to throw me a lunch, I was like, oh, goodness me. But I had to really sort of focus on the fact that my colleagues needed that for their process, you know, for their saying goodbye, you know. And actually, it wasn't too bad, but it was very noisy. I struggle with my hearing in one ear. And when things get too noisy, I start not hearing things, you know. People will be talking to me and I'll be nodding, thinking, I don't know what you're saying, but I hope I'm supposed to be nodding. Oh. Yeah, renting, Nancy. We've had a couple of rents over the years, and we were in one at one point, and it was great. We were able to decorate, we were able to do the garden, you know, so it was kind of quite cool, you know. Sally, I managed to avoid most of the work socializing because I simply told them I don't socialize with work colleagues. It's not something that I do. Um, I have in the past and gone out with colleagues and ended up getting drunk and ended up telling people what I thought of them. Yeah, because that's what I do when I've had a drink. So that's one of the reasons why I don't drink, because I get gobby. Yeah, it's my left ear as well, Caroline. Oh, Elaine, you're welcome. I love that one too. It's a personal favourite of mine. Yeah, I really enjoyed that shoot. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. Thank you. Yeah, Debbie Ann, I prefer small, intimate groups of people where you can really have a good chat. You can hear everything that's going on. There's no offensive background music stopping you from hearing things. And yeah, it's just more pleasant, you know. I don't mind a party where it's, say, the family, you know, or very close friends who know each other, because you can say, I can't hear you, you know, or say, talk to this ear, I can hear you in this ear, you know. You can be yourself with people that you know very well. So I think that's a positive when it's family and friends, you know. Yeah, Leslie, strong perfume. Mm. Yeah, Ronnie. I'm I'm one of those people. I don't tolerate alcohol that well, and I feel terrible the next day, so I tend to avoid it. Hi, Lucy. Karen, we don't, we haven't eaten out in a restaurant for a long, long, long time. Um, we used to regularly, especially when Paul was living in Islington and I was living in East Finchley at the time. So I used to go over to him and we used to eat out. There were a couple of places we used to go to, but they tended to be quite small places, quite intimate places. We've eaten out in a few really nice restaurants where it's no background music, it's just people talking quietly, it's not too raucous. Um, there's not the danger of you bumping into very drunk people, which is another thing I don't like. Yeah, Jana, I think it's nice to be choosy about what you do, you know. Yeah, Lynn, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think we all have facets to our personalities that we choose to bring out when we need to. You know, I can be the life of the party, but only when I'm feeling super comfortable, you know, and happy with my surroundings. Otherwise, I tend to shut down and just observe what's going on. And also, I have a strong sense of self preservation in situations where I feel there might be the potential for things to go wrong. Okay, Ronnie, bye for now. No, Lynn, I'm a Virgo. Hmm. Oh, yeah. So, going back to talking about eating out, we got to the point where we were eating out and not enjoying it because we felt we could do better at home. So, yeah, we haven't eaten out for many, many years, other than having, say, chips at the seaside. Sorry, just bear with me. Jeanette, have we made financially chances? Do you mean changes? If you mean changes, well, we're just, as usual, being extremely careful. Yeah, exactly. When you cook at home, you know what you're cooking, and you also know that you've done it in a clean way as well, because frankly, some of the eating places around here, I wouldn't, well, no, I wouldn't even think about eating
See the
anything
back
from
of
them.
them. Yeah.
No, ugh, no, I don't trust people. I really don't. Yeah, and the cost, Paul's right. The cost of eating out. I mean, we said it before, we live on leftovers. You know, we make a meal and it will do for another meal and maybe even another meal after that, you know? So it's really cheap to eat at home. In fact, we should probably do some kind of video on that kind of subject, Paul. Don't you think? I think so.
What were you saying?
How we eke out a meal.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it.
Well,
I'm
I
going to
did
make a
suggest that
meal.
I did that several years ago, and you
I
said
said,
people wouldn't be interested.
oh, Paul, shush now. Honestly. Yeah, I'm going to so do that. Yeah, Weatherspoons, it does get very, very busy, doesn't it? You're on a waiting list. Is it a befriending service, Caroline, that you're waiting for? Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Because there have been several instances where people have been allergic and have gone to restaurants and died because they were served something with an allergen in it, which is really horrific. There's been a few cases, and I honestly don't think you can trust
No.
most of the places now.
If you have a violent
You know,
allergy,
you just can't trust it. Yes, Nancy. Yeah, Crohn's is not to be messed with, is it? You know, it can be set off, can't it? We have a friend with Crohn's. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, there is that. And I think, Santoshi, I think if you are getting food from a reputable place and you're happy with it and you trust them, that's great. You know, I mean, we used to get takeaways years ago. We used to have Indian takeaways quite often. But I remember we went with some friends to an Indian restaurant, and
you did.
oh, didn't you go?
No.
Yeah, I wasn't terribly impressed with the cleanliness, to be honest. I'm not saying that all restaurants are like that, but it kind of put me off. I'm the kind of person that if I see something that is not right, that doesn't look clean, my stomach goes like that and I can't eat. I simply can't eat. We went to somebody's house that we didn't know many years ago,
We had
and
been invited.
we'd been invited, but we didn't know them. We went with another friend, and yeah, the place was not clean. I mean, it wasn't, you know, I don't expect places to be a show home, but it was not clean.
And where
It
was
didn't.
dirty bucket and mop?
There was a dirty bucket and mop full of black water, which totally told me straight away that this place has not been cleaned for some time. And yeah, it just, no. I just couldn't eat the food, which was actually all pre-packed stuff from Marks and Spencer's, and I still couldn't eat it. It just, no, it wasn't right. Yes, MJ, if the loo isn't clean, absolutely. I'm just looking at the comments. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, we do not live in a show home, believe me. And there are a few cobwebs I've noticed today in the sun. That's why people do spring cleaning, because the light shows you the things that you haven't cleaned. However, the kitchen is always kept clean. The toilets are kept clean. The sinks are kept clean. That's the way we rock and roll. You know, and I vacuum and dust probably twice a week, at least. So, you know, oh, thank you, Leslie. Thank you so much. Well, Donna, our house is generally kept tidy, generally, but you have to live. And, you know, I believe there's a new hashtag, which is hashtag reset, which is trending at the moment. And that's all about resetting your space. And when people reset their lounge for the next day, I don't tend to do that. I'm usually half asleep when I go up to bed, but I tend to reset the next day, you know? But I do like to clean as I go, unlike Paul.
I do clean as I go.
You don't. The kitchen looks trashed whenever you cook, Paul.
But only if there's several dishes that need to come together. You're very good at doing one pot.
Oh, don't give me that. Honestly. And yeah, So I do try to go clean as I go. I just find it easier because the thought of a trashed kitchen full of pots and pans when you've cooked and eaten does not appeal at all. No. So that's why I try to clean and vacuum as I go through the week. However, I will confess, our dressing room is a state at the moment. It's very dusty. I've not dusted or tidied properly in there for some months. So tomorrow is going to be, we've got a film Sunday chat.
Sunday chat!
All right. But tomorrow's going to be a domesticated day. I've done the bed today, but I'm doing a show and you're getting it for free, passerby. God, how dare they? Tomorrow is a domesticated day. Tomorrow. It's going to be getting the dressing room sorted, vacuuming. I need to dust my blinds as well because I'm falling behind with those. So yeah, it's... Well, Jeanette, you know, I'm a minimalist at heart as well. I love it when I do any decorating and I take all the furniture out. I love it. I just love it. A space with nothing in it. But our lives don't seem to work like that. We seem to accumulate bits and pieces. I'm the kind of person that will say, if somebody says, I'm throwing this away, do you think you'll need it? I go, oh, I might need that. Yeah, I'll have it. It might be tiny, but they soon mount up. Oh, Debbie Ann, the sun on the blinds, I know, this time of year. So I do need to get spring cleaning. It's not too hard to do because I do keep things, as I've just said, fairly clean and tidy most of the time. But yeah, well, dust my blinds and call me Rita. Yeah. You see, the live show is where all the personal confessions come out, all the personal bits and pieces that you're dying to know about me. And that's something I wanted to mention to our coffee supporters. We're going to be doing a podcast soon, which is going to be just for our coffee supporters. So if you do support us on coffee and you've got questions that we'd like to answer, that you'd like us to answer, then please put them in the coffee thread on that post. Yeah. Hi, Rebecca. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? Because I love stuff, but I also hate stuff as well. So I sort of veer in between. I go through periods where there's stuff everywhere, then I clear it, and it sort of makes its way back somehow. This room doesn't really change that much. But the thing that's annoying me at the moment is our bowls. We have some beautiful bowls, and they are filled with stuff. So I need to do those tomorrow as well. And what it usually entails is me going through the bowl and putting everything back in neatly. Yeah. That's what happens. Yeah, we did a big clutter, Layla, a big declutter, sorry, when we had the house on the market. And all of the stuff that we cleared is still in boxes in our cupboards.
Oh, we got rid of a lot.
But we did get rid of a huge amount of stuff. And we could probably do that all again. And we like to give it all away. You know, that's how we rock and roll. So it's time to start saying goodbye, regrettably, because we do have a prior commitment at 7 o'clock. So yeah, I'm going to start saying goodbye. But first of all, I want to say thank you to all of you for giving up your time to join me here and have a lovely one-to-one, because that's what it feels like, an intimate chat. It's just me and you. Yeah, Nicola, exactly. But yeah, I'm going to say goodbye. You will see us for Sunday chat.
Sunday chat!
Not again, Paul. But remember, there's no vlog on a Saturday now. That will be out on Wednesday. Yeah, I know the time goes so quickly, Rebecca, doesn't it? I'm sorry, Rebecca, other Rebecca. But yeah, it's just a short-ish one this week because we've got something else that we need to do at 7. So thank you, lovely people, all 83 of you, lovely, for joining me this Friday evening, this beautiful Friday evening. And yeah, we'll see you for Sunday chat. And oh, Paul didn't say it this time. You had your
Sunday
chance.
chat.
God. The time goes so quickly, doesn't it? It really does. So thank you, and thank you for your support. Thank you to our coffee supporters. Thank you so much for your donations and your gifts. It means a lot to us. It really does. It's keeping us going. So thank you. And I need to put a cardigan on because it's feeling really chilly now. Paul, you need to put some clothes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just go down the street like this.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to put the phone down first. I am. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye for now. Thank you.